the rich are always going to get richer. Yes, the poor are always going to struggle. And that's the way the game is set up. So you still need to find the best move on the chessboard. There's no point sitting there saying, I want to play a different game, because that's never going to happen. Because the people with the money are the people who have the control and they have the power. And why would they have the game set up any other way? Why would they change it? Right? It's also the basic of economics. I think a lot of people don't understand the true basics of economics, and the basics of economics state that even giving money to the poor, that ends up back in the hands of the rich. There's no way to stop the rich getting richer. I've already explained this before, but I remember during COVID when they did the stimulus checks and they passed out all this free money to everyone, $1,000. In England, they gave a lot more money, but in America, everyone got like $1,400 each and everyone was happy about it, saying, oh, he's giving money to the poor. Yeah, but what do those poor people spend that money on? They either, well, Amazon stock tripled because they all went to Amazon. So Jeff Bezos got richer, right? But the fact is that there's less companies than there are people. All those $1,400 checks amongst all those people at the bottom ended up in the hands of a few companies, and the rich got richer, and you can't stop it. Doesn't matter if those people invested their money, doesn't matter if they bought stocks, doesn't matter if they bought crypto, doesn't matter if they bought a house, whatever. The people who have the assets and have the companies and have the control are always going to end up getting control of the currency, and they're always going to be richer. So that's kind of how it works. And it's getting worse and worse. You got to be in a good position to take advantage of things. You've always got to be in a position where you have a good network, you have good information, you have some kind of liquid money, you have the ability to survive without that money. You can take a risk. Like, it's hard to set yourself up. I'm in a position now where I'm in the NBA. I'm an NBA player. I can never go broke again. So it doesn't matter, right? Once you're in the NBA, I can throw $1 million at something. It doesn't matter if it works or not. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. And that's why it's so much easier. They always say the first million is the hardest, and they're completely right. Once you get to a certain point, you can gamble to a degree. I think everybody knows that the system and the path they lay out for you is not a path that's going to lead to where you want to be. And I didn't know what the other path was, but that intrinsic distrust for the system and that distrust for the things they wanted me to do made me search for other avenues. And then I found them, right? And if you speak to the people who are richest, if you speak to the people you know, this is for everyone at home as well, if you speak to the people you know who have the most money and go up to them and say, hey, what made you rich? None of them say school. Do any of them say school made me rich? I got an A in GCSE. Like, who gives a it's bullshit, right? So it's all indoctrination. So I knew it was indoctrination, and for that reason, I was always searching. And if you're searching, you're going to find. There's a lot of people who make a lot of money with their first company, but they just spunk it, act an idiot, and it all blows up in their face. And that's how you get the discipline on your fourth company, that when you have $3 million in the bank, you just leave it there. You know, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree some trauma to really even learn any lessons. So yeah, business studies, you're right. The book, that's not going to teach you anything about business. You need to get out there on the streets. You need to make mistakes. You need to suffer. You need to have the tax man knocking at your door. You got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. That's kind of how it works. Now I'm at a point where it gets really difficult to truly measure how much money I have, because you have cash. Okay, that's easy. I have some crypto, which is constantly fluctuating. And then you have assets, and the price of the assets is constantly fluctuating. And then I have companies and income streams, which need to be valued. And how do you value them, right? They can be an 8 times multiplier in some circumstances, and others they'll be a 10 times multiplier. So it's really difficult for me to put a value on it. If you were to say to me, how much money do I have in the bank? But then even then, because I've got to be careful what I say on this podcast. But even then, once you have a healthy respect for money, once you get past a certain amount of money, you don't need it in the bank. Like, there's no point in me having 50M liquid in the bank. Why? What am I going to buy? You know, you're like, as long as you have whatever you have in the bank to run around the world with, you have enough. So you try and put that money to use, right? You buy assets, XYZ. So it's really difficult. I mean, I have my online school, which we'll talk about later, Hustlers University. That's already been valued. That was valued at $300 million. Once I got a bunch of money, what I really wanted more than anything was freedom. There's a bunch of these real high level crypto guys, you know, like the guys who invented Ethereum and all that, the autistic guys. They don't own anything. And I kind of get that. I'm at the point now where they have a backpack of their possessions, and if they want a house, they rent it. They want a Lambo, they rent it. If I need to go somewhere, rent. I don't own anything. I don't have any hassle. Nothing's in my name. No government can take anything from me. You know, you get to a point of wealth where you kind of start thinking, do I want to have all this crap now I got to deal with? Really, you want peace of mind. And I have enough troubles in my head. I don't need to be worried about my mansion in Santa Monica, which has been broken into. And I don't even go there. Do you know what I mean? It's just long. So that's that. And then also what I was saying earlier about property being a tool to the matrix. If you buy a $10 or $20 million property under a government, you can't piss that government off. You can't disagree with that government. You can't, if the tax authority of that government says you owe them money, you better fucking pay it or you're going to lose that house, right? Yeah. If they say you better take an injection in your arm for the good of society, you better take your vaccine. You better put your mask on. You can't even get a parking ticket, my G. Listen. And I moved to Romania because it felt more free than the UK in certain aspects. And it is. In certain aspects, it's certainly more free. You're always, as an individual, you always have to make a trade-off. And the trade-off is usually between laws and the strength of the government and the judicial system and your safety, right? This is the usual trade-off. So Dubai, which I love and I spend a lot of time in, the judicial system is extremely harsh. The laws are extremely harsh, but it's very, very safe. I'll accept that trade. If you give me a powerful government and a powerful police force, but you give me my safety to wear a $5 million watch, I'll take that all day. But you have countries like America and England where the judicial system and the police are dangerous and they can mess you up at a whim, but they don't even give you your safety. So now I have to be scared of the cops arresting me for no reason and the criminal killing me. So they don't even give me a fair trade-off. So in my view, if I'm going to live in a country with a strong judicial system and a strong legal system, I want them to provide me my safety on the street and the safety of my family. And if they don't do that, I don't see why they're seen as so strong. There's countries in Africa and Southeast Asia, etc., where the judicial system's a joke. Then fine. The streets aren't safe. The police ain't doing their job. That all makes sense to me, right? But when the police are going to come along and mess you up for not wearing a mask or catch you for speeding and wreck your life, but they can't even offer you safety, then fuck them. So I decided to move somewhere else. I got a bunch of B's and C's, and I know I'm a genius, right? So it annoyed me. So I thought I'm actually going to try for my A-levels. So I got a bunch of A's. I did business studies as well, got an A. And then I did some advanced diploma in business studies for the top 1% of scores or some crap. And I got a merit in that. And then I was offered a place at, what was it called? Begins with A. Ascot. I got a normal job. I got a wagey job. I was a wagey. I was working as an IT technician. I got some sales jobs. And I was training hard to fight. And I think sales jobs are probably the best job any person can get. If I had to get a job again, it'd be a sales job. Because you learn a lot as a salesman. You learn, and sales is a really important skill. You learn a skill. And also, if you're actually good at it, it's not even really like having a job. They don't fire the top. The most valuable thing on the planet today is human capital. Even the people at the very, very top echelons of life, all they care about is controlling people. The people who are in charge of governments and stuff, all they care about is controlling people, making sure you do what they want you to do. I don't want to get too political and talk about Epstein's Island and all that crap. But once you get to a certain level of money, all they want is people. People are the most important thing. You can't have a business without people. You can't have a government without people. You don't have anything without people. So I don't see why you wouldn't have the people you're born with who share blood with and just do a handshake as men and say, okay, let's not fuck each other over and let's get rich. Because now you're doubling your manpower. Right? You're doubling up. So I think that I was always close with my brother and he's always been close with me because we are a team and you need to have a team. And if you have a team, you stand a better chance. It's player versus player out here, man. It's on the street. It's not easy. For every dollar you make, for every pound you took it from someone else. You don't make money. You take money. People don't understand the way that money works. You're not the Federal Reserve. You can't create money from thin air. Every single pound in your bank is money you took from someone else. And when I say take, I don't mean it in a negative way. You might have convinced them to give it to you. As of this morning, what do we say? 64,853.
Yep.
So
numbers.
64,853 times $49 a month. So that's 3.1 million a month.
Okay.
It generates.
Yeah.
That's all profit. It's an online platform.
No question.
So what's that a year? 3 times 12 is 36 million a year. So, and then if you're going to put a multiplier on a business, there's different ways you can do it. If you're going to do you can do a 4 times multiplier, et cetera, et cetera. But tech companies usually get an 8 times multiplier. And it's usually an 8 times multiplier of the turnover, not even the profit. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's my turnover, but my turnover and profit are the same thing. So it's easy to value at 10x, right? Which is 36 times 10 is 360, or an 8x is 300.
That's crazy.
But I'm never going to sell it because I won't sell it because it's mine. 1, 2, I don't need money. And 3, I don't trust anyone else to teach the things that the things we're teaching actually work. It's not going to be some vanilla bullshit, right? It actually works. And I also think like a lot of these people, a lot of these wealth gurus and crap online, they don't teach shit that really, really works. A lot of them also just teach mindset because mindset is an easy cop out. They'll sit there and go, I'll teach you how to be rich with mindset. They'll just tell you to be mindset. And you'll be like, at the end of it, you're like, all right, cool. Where's the money? I'm ready now. I'm positive, G. How do I get paid? right? We don't do any of that. We're like, okay, here's how you get paid today. Do this. And there's people who are in there who think they're too smart to listen and they don't make any money. And then there's 16-year-olds who join humbly. I don't know shit. I trust Top G. You said make TikToks. Safe. Boom, boom. And he's buying his mama house. Yeah. So like, it's all about that. A lot of people with no money are really, really arrogant. I know a lot of broke people who are very arrogant. They'll come along and go, I think that's a scam. Oh, do you, Brokey? Oh, Brokey thinks it's a scam. Oh, tell me again about how my online educational platform, the biggest in the world, which I've built when I'm flying around in my private jet. Tell me again about how I'm out here to scam you of your fucking 36 pounds. It's dumb. Because I live life very logically, very objectively. If there's an advantage to only having one female, which I'm sure there are some, I can name them already, then yeah, that's the decision I'll make. If I think there's an advantage to having more than one, then that's the decision I'm going to make. Some people really need a female in their life because they need that kind of stability and direction and motivation. I'm not that guy. I do not need a woman to tell me to go work. I do not need her to tell me to put the video games down. I do not need to be cooked for and mothered. Like, it's nice if she does, but I'll survive. I did all this myself. I'll be okay. Like, the menial tasks you complete, I can hire somebody to do. It's not a big deal. I absolutely believe in love. I believe in family. I believe having kids is an amazing thing. But does that mean I'm ever going to live the completely traditional, I'm at home, wife says come home? That's never going to happen. That's not who I am as a man. If I have a woman who I love with all my heart and we have children, I'm still going to be out till whenever the fuck I'm out. I might be gone for 2 weeks. I'm out. See you in 2 weeks. And if during those 2 weeks I meet a big BQ, whatever, it is what it is. Doesn't mean I don't love my woman at home. Doesn't mean I'm not going to come back to her. But I'm just true to my instinct as a man. I don't think I should apologize for it. I think a lot of people are socially conditioned to apologize for things. That's not me. Society says I should do X. Well, society says I should do a bunch of dumb shit. Everything society tells me to do is wrong. So now society's going to sit here and say that I'm a bad person if I fall in love with a woman, we have a child, I take care of her financially, she's safe, the child's safe, I love them both, I spend time with them, and sometimes I'm away with my brother and there's a couple chicks around. Does that make me a horrible person? According to society, get fucked. Don't care. I do what I want. That's what I want to do at the time. That's what I'm going to do.